Fibroids are growths in the uterus that can be like smooth pieces of muscle. They can be the size of an egg or even the size of a small grapefruit. Fibroids can be incredibly disruptive and difficult to deal with, even causing bleeding and extreme discomfort. In most cases, doctors recommend surgery when a woman comes in with a fibroid, and in many, surgery is presented as the only option because of the large size of many fibroids. As with most chronic illnesses, medical communities don't yet know the true cause of fibroids. There is only speculation and theory about why women sometimes get these growths in their reproductive systems. And, as with most chronic illnesses, the medical industry has convinced millions of women that their fibroids are related to their genes. In reality, fibroids have nothing to do with genes and are not hereditary at all. Science and research sometimes suggests that fibroids could be caused by estrogen, progesterone, or even too much red meat or alcohol. While some of these things may be connected to fibroids, they are not the true cause. The true cause of fibroids is a virus called Epstein-Barr virus, EBV. There are over 60 varieties of EBV. Medical science and research only believe there to be one variety. If you are unfamiliar with this virus, you are likely aware of mononucleosis, which is the second stage of EBV. Oftentimes someone contracts mononucleosis as a child or when they are in their teens or 20s and then never truly eradicates the virus from their body. Because they are not given the proper tools to knock down the virus altogether and because science and research aren't aware that EBV has multiple stages, of which mononucleosis is just stage 2. EBV then continues to strengthen and proliferate, moving into further stages and causing many other illnesses and symptoms. In truth, almost everyone today has at least one variety of EBV. Different varieties create different health problems. It is the environment we create for the virus, the toxins we are exposed to, the stress and hardships in our lives, and the foods we eat that dictate whether it will develop into further stages. Another truth medical communities are still unaware of is that viruses actually feed. They feed on specific foods, plus toxins and heavy metals, and create more severe health conditions and symptoms as a result. Estrogen does play a role in creating fibroids in women's reproductive systems. However, it is not in the way that is often explained in alternative and medical health communities. Typically women's own hormones are blamed for creating fibroids, but in reality the estrogen found in foods or other external sources is what can truly cause harm. The harmful kinds of estrogen are in eggs, dairy, red meat, plastics, solvents, and medications. While eggs and dairy are best avoided by everyone because they directly contribute to illness, the key with red meat, plastics, solvents, and medications is to consider if there's ways you can reduce your intake of them where possible. This harmful estrogen is the one that needs to be eliminated from the body because otherwise it builds up in the liver and in turn harms the uterus. The liver gets so clogged up with poisons, toxins, and pathogens like EBV, that it cannot do its job to protect the reproductive system from harm. The liver traps the estrogen in order to protect you, but when the liver is too overloaded with toxins, the estrogen can be released but isn't able to leave the body properly. The estrogen then saturates the uterus and contributes to the development of fibroids. The reason we need to focus on removing certain foods and adding in other ones is because diet is critical to healing fibroids. Certain foods, like eggs and dairy especially, trigger the Epstein-Barr virus to get into the reproductive system and create growths. Unfortunately, the only foods that science and research are willing to scorn in the arena of fibroids is red meat. While red meat does play a role because it contains adrenaline and estrogen, the worst offenders are eggs and dairy. Two foods sadly often promoted within medical and alternative health communities as being helpful. Doctors and health practitioners haven't been taught that these foods actually contribute to growing fibroids rapidly, and this truth is simply not widely known. Most women are told that eggs and dairy are good for women's health and are needed for protein and calcium. Products like yogurt and cottage cheese are proclaimed as not only good but very important for women. However, dairy and eggs are the worst thing for women's health and should be avoided at all costs because they feed EBV. The virus that causes not only fibroids but a multitude of illnesses women often struggle with. Fibroids is directly caused by EBV, and EBV is fed by the consumption of eggs and dairy products, including the ones that are considered healthy like milk, eggs, cheese squares, and yogurt. Unfortunately, There are private panels of influencers supporting experts in the health field, protecting eggs and keeping the truth from women who simply want to lead the healthiest lives they can. In addition to removing the e-beef triggers, we can do something equally as powerful and just as critical: consume the foods that e-beef hates. Fruit is the best thing to consume when trying to fight this virus because of the incredible antiviral properties it contains. Even though women are told misinformation about fruit being too high in sugar, do not remove fruit from your diet. While women are being told to eat yogurt, they should actually be encouraged to eat fruit, because fruit goes hand in hand with the female reproductive system. Some powerful fruits you can include are apples, berries, mangoes, papayas, cherries, cranberries, and bananas. Eat banana smoothies with frozen or fresh berries, especially wild blueberries. Eat ripe mangoes for breakfast or a bowl full of grapes. Consume as much fruit as you like and experience the healing benefits of this amazing food. Something everyone can agree on is the importance of vegetables in your diet. Eat plenty of raw leafy greens and vegetables every day. Eat salads daily and add lettuces, specifically romaine lettuce, kale, spinach, celery, cucumber, zucchini, and fennel. You can even juice fennel or steam it and put it in a soup. You can also steam vegetables like potatoes and sweet potatoes. Make winter squash a staple in your diet and eat plenty of asparagus. Try juicing asparagus to help your fibroids shrink. There are also some herbs that can be helpful in reducing fibroids. Do not underestimate the power of these simple herbs, whether taken in capsule, tincture, or tea form. The first herb to consider is raspberry leaf, which levels out the bad hormones that feed e-beef. Also, nettle leaf is an amazing gift for women, especially when healing from fibroids, because of its antiviral properties. Lemon balm is another herb that e-beef hates because there are phytochemicals in this herb that go directly after the virus. Also, some ashwagandha goes a long way when healing from fibroids. Consider including these herbs into your regimen in order to reduce your fibroids and experience healing. You can find links for those in description below video. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe,